Now what I'm going to show you is one of my favorite backgrounds, which is the out of focus backgrounds. Oftentimes I'll choose it because I don't like to see a whole bunch of detail in the background. Oftentimes you'll see amateurs are so concerned about what the background looks like that they're trying to draw every little inch of the tree or anything like that. And sometimes you're enhancing, or most of the time you're enhancing your subject matter way better just simply by doing an out of focus background. It's really quite easy to do, and it's also very fast too, so that's the other advantage of doing it. So what I do is I take an array of foliage colors so that it looks more like foliage in the background, and here's just some that I've chosen. And I do a patchwork of colors, and I'll show you an example how I do that. So we just use a heavy pressure and do a patchwork of color. Just keep doing this. And I'm just going through my colors that I have here. Put some brown maybe in a couple spots. And some of this terracotta color. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take solvent. I use Gamasol. The reason why I like this is because it's odorless, but it really doesn't matter any kind of solvent you can use. You can use any brand at all, but this is the type that I like. You dip your brush in the Gamasol, and then you dab it on a paper towel and kind of dry it out a little bit. And then you start with your lighter colors and you just start scrubbing them and blending them together. And you'll just have to keep dipping, and then dipping, dabbing, and scrubbing is basically what it is. What might happen as you're doing this is you may lose your light colors or whatever, but you can always go back in and re-enhance those after this dries. Now what this tends to look like when it's finished is it looks like you have some foliage with maybe little bits of light showing through it or something. It's exactly what you might see when you see a photographer, a photograph that has the out of focus background on it. It's just an array of color. Now what I'm going to do, even though it's not dry yet, and it's best if you wait for it to dry a little bit, I'll still show you how you can come back in and add a little bit more of your lighter colors and maybe just add little bits and pieces of it here and there. A good example of an out of focus background is my bobcat kittens. I did a pair of bobcat kittens that the whole background was done out of focus, as well as an Amur leopard that I've done. I do tend to use this background quite often, and it's very enjoyable to do.